Hi my friends, it's Mr. Wedge, and today for art we're going to make a newsprint pet. It's like a collage. So we're going to need black paper, white paper, newsprint, and you can find, we just need text from a newspaper or a magazine or even an old book. Pencil, scissors, glue, and then any color for construction paper, and this is going to be the background. So the first step is to put your name on the back and your class code. K-something. And flip it over, and then I'm going to take my newsprint and cut the shape of my pet's body out. Now you don't have to make a pet that you have. It could just be any animal, but I have a cat at home, so I'm going to try to make a picture of my cat. So I'm going to start with the shape of the body, almost like a rainbow shape or a mountain or an upside down ice cream cone. And you see how it's got text on it. That's going to give it texture, and it's going to make it look cool. I might trim this white part off on the bottom. So now that I have that, I'm going to flip it over and put a few dots of glue on the back, right around the edges, and especially in the corners. So just little dots of glue right around the edges, right in the corners, maybe one in the middle too. And flip it over, line it up with the bottom of my background, and stick it down flat. And I'm going to keep going for all my shapes. So now that I have my pet's body, I'm going to make the head. So think about the shape of the head of your animal that you're making. Some animals have pointier heads, some animals have rounder heads. I'm cutting a circle, and you can see I'm turning the paper and keeping my scissors straight. I think that's easier. That looks pretty good to me. Looks like my cat's head. So I'm going to put a few dots of glue around the outside. They're not puddles, they're just dots. And one in the middle. And there we go. My cat has two pointy ears. And they almost look like triangles. So I'm going to cut two triangle shapes out of my newsprint paper. You can figure out where you want them, and then a few dots of glue on the back. If it's a small shape, you only need 2 or 3. And stick them down flat. So now that I have the newsprint shape of my pet, I'm going to add some eyes. And I'm going to put the eyes pretty close to the middle. I'm going to use white paper for that. So what I like to do is fold the paper in half and then cut the shape of one eye out, because then I'll have 2 and they'll be exactly the same. And I'm going to use football shapes for mine, but you could do circles if it's easier. So you see how I folded the paper and then cut the shape out? So now when I take it apart, I've got 2 eyes and they're the same. So just like before, we're going to glue those down. There we go. I might do some whiskers too. So I'm going to cut lots of really thin strips of paper out of my white sheet. And then I can glue those down. It's starting to look like a cat. Alright, so now I'm going to cut some more shapes out for details. You've got an iris inside there. I use rectangles for mine, but you could do circles for this part. I'm going to do an upside down triangle for the nose. I just cut the corner of the paper off for a little triangle. Figure out where the nose goes. There we go. Then you can add any other details you want. I'm going to put some shapes in my cat's ears. So I'm cutting triangles that are a little bit smaller. And my cat has stripes, so I might add those too. So for the mouth, I'm going to do something kind of tricky, but I'll glue these stripes on first. So now I'm going to cut, just like I did with the eyes, I'm going to start with a little rectangle. And I'm going to fold it in half. And then on the folded side, I'm gonna cut a shape out. So do you see how where the folded side is? Right there, looks like the top of a roof or a tent. So right along that edge, I'm gonna cut and I'm gonna curve out. Almost looks like a letter L. And I'm gonna go right along next to it, like this. This is kind of tricky to do. But then when I unfold it, I've got this shape. See that? So I can glue that right there, and it looks like my cat's mouth. It doesn't look very happy, so I'm actually gonna try it again. You can play around with your shapes and try different things until you get it the way you like it. Yeah, that's better. So there's a newsprint pet, and we use text as texture. Work hard and have fun.